Hey, have another day, another vlog. Welcome back. A little bit different today. I'm all set up. I've got to do some more taping today for our Blackberry's bike video. So I've got the studio set up a little bit more professional, a bit normal. Done all the stuff I can do on the ground, that's basically just pulling the crank out and that. So that one's, I recorded all that, so that's good. The rest of the stuff I should be able to do up here on my bench, on the old cat box. I've converted into my office desk. Actually, I don't mind the way this looks. Comes up good. Toolboxes in the background, my big snap-on box, rough old work box. So yeah, no, it's come up good. What do you think? A little bit more organised, a bit more betterish? Cool. A hot day here in Perth. I think it's supposed to be 40, low 40s to mid 40s Celsius. So yeah, for you guys in the States, about 100 plus Fahrenheit. We've got most of that this week. So it's a little bit tricky out of here in the shed. I do have a fan, but I just don't want the noise. So in between takes, I'll have that fan going while I'm shooting the video, just to try and cool down and keep pumping that water in. Rehydration, that's the key. Rightio, it's been a busy day actually. I thought I'd get this done so I could get some work done. I've had a chance to look at some stuff this morning after Jack's swimming. My little buddy had a ball in the pool with him today. The water was lovely. On a hot day, there's nothing better than going swimming, and especially with a 2-year-old that just loves it and goes nuts, splashing and all the stuff. I'm sure all you parents out there appreciate that. It's always a fun time swimming with your kid. It's always good, and watching the smiles on their faces, and yeah, very cool. He's just sort of learned to walk on the shallow end of the pool, and today he was going under the lane ropes by himself. So Dad's a very proud dad, definitely. Rightio, I've got a heap of stuff to get through and hot. So I want to run through this quickly so I don't waste your time and give you as much as I can as soon as I can. And then I can get into some more work, because I need to sit up tonight and start editing this and get it all ready to go. Right, Blackberry phones. For us old people, Blackberries were what were they? They weren't the phone everyone wanted, but if you're a business person, you had to have a Blackberry. It had the QWERTY keyboard on there for emails and that. It was so much easier to reply because the Nokias and the Sony Ericssons, you had to go, each button, each number had 3 letters, so you'd have to go 1, 2, 3 to get to that. So ABC was 1, 2, 3 to get the C. Then you imagine doing that every button. Well, that's what we all used to have to do. That's why texting sucked. And I think that's why a lot of older people like myself, not really into texting, because it's just a pain. I'd rather ring you and talk to you than send a text, unless it's something really simple like a 1 sentence, just words to throw at you. Yeah, I don't know how these people sit there and write stories when they could ring you and over 2 minutes save themselves 60 texts. But it's a new way, and yeah, I guess when you've got these new phones that can predictive text and all that, I guess it's a lot easier than what we had to go through. But yeah, so the Blackberries were sort of the texters and email dreams for most business people. All the business people had the Blackberries, and they were expensive bits of kit. Wide, sort of generally a fairly wide flat phone, big screens, but to fit that little QWERTY keyboard on so you could get to it, it had to be that width of it. But super mega popular, and then just never adapted and pretty much died off. Well, they were bought out, I think they said last year or the year before, and to try and save them, and it just hasn't worked. The sales continued to drop. No one's used them. Why would you? I can't imagine you'd want to go back to a touchpad. It doesn't make sense. So they just never adapted, and it's pretty much all over. So as of August 31st this year, that is it. No more support, no more thing. The business will basically be non-existent. There will be the end of another piece of tech, a la like your Pebbles and all those other things that started off the revolution and now have disappeared into Never Land. But anyways, that's the price you pay. Unfortunately, you've got to adapt to be in front of everyone else to make the money, so you can keep adapting, so you can keep staying in front. Otherwise, you just get straight down the hill. It's like a big mudslide of technology, and if you get caught, well, then you're stuffed. So yeah, it's pretty standard, I guess, in the last 20 years to watch companies fold. When I grew up, companies lasted a lifetime. They were handed down from generation to generation, and now it's, you know, a generation is one generation, and that's it. If you have a business that lasts one person's lifetime, well, then you've done bloody well. Yeah. Who knows what the future has for us there? But yeah, Blackberries won't be part of that future. Adios amigos, Blackberries. If you do have one, it's definitely time to get rid of it, because it's going to be useless to you in the next August 6 months. So yeah, look out. Now, Apple, speaking of technology and adapting, Apple in the States, I think it's about 6 or 7 states so far are offering house calls to fix your iPhone. So if you drop your phone, smash it, how am I going to fix this? I've got to drive all the way to the shop, and traffic's a nightmare, and I've got the kids, and what am I going to do? I need a phone. Well, say no more. Apple's jumped ahead of the bandwagon. It's the first I've heard of anyone, and I think it's pretty smart actually. It's done by contractors that obviously work for Apple, so that's, I guess, the difference to it. But I think that even again, that's pretty good. That's creating jobs. I think it's a great idea from Apple to give, that gives that independent person that's pretty savvy with tech, that knows how to do their phones. No longer you're locked into going to work in a shopping centre in a poxy little thing waiting for someone to come. You can now not have to pay for all that rent and stuff. You can be in a car that you can claim, and you can shoot out to these people, do 6 or 7 phones in a day, and actually make some money. So pretty darn cool, and I think it was pretty smart by Apple. So yeah, it's about 6 or 7 states at the moment, and I'm sure that list will grow, because I think with traffic and people's hectic lifestyles, just imagine, I guess, you're at work and something happens, you drop your phone, a forklift, something hits it, you're in the meetings, and you need that phone for after work for that stuff. You call someone out to the office, they come and fix your phone. That contractor might then pick up like 4 or 5 other people once they know you've called. Oh, your mine's cracked, I'll get it done while you're here. You might make a cool $1,000 in 2-3 hours worth of work. So I think it's really, really good, and good from Apple, looking after its customers. And that's, again, customer service is the way forward, I think. Products are all, I think MKBH said the other day about iPhones reaching their sort of peak, and now how are you going to do it? Like, the techs all seems to be very similar. So now it comes back to, like cars and all that, you've got your sales, you've got your customer service, you've got your back end, your repairs and servicing centres and stuff like that. That's where you keep your customers in. So customer service, as always, and it's one thing we absolutely are terrible at in Australia, is customer service, and that's where you'll keep your customers. It's probably why most Australian businesses don't last too long in the big pond. But anyway, yeah, so very cool. Now, West Virginia will be allowing, they're putting in for the vote, the governor's trying to get in a vote to allow people with disabilities able to vote online, so they don't have to either hire a car to get a wheelchair to go and line up for 3 hours to put a vote in when there's time to vote, whatever, all those dramas those people have to do, just to make it a little bit easier for them. It's going to be sort of the first trial heading towards the ultimate goal of them trying to allow everyone to just vote online. Obviously, myself, and I'm sure many other people, the concerns being with voting with online is hacking and all that sort of stuff. But as we've seen with current elections, I don't think it really matters anymore whether it gets hacked online and manipulated online. It's getting manipulated and hacked, and basically by people with money now, bribing people. So does anyone really trust them anyway? At least this would be easier for everyone. Wouldn't have to waste a morning going out to vote somewhere and stand in a friggin' line and getting harassed by people trying to give you leaflets and sell your soul to the devil. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's great that they're trialling it with people with disabilities. They definitely make a difference to them and save them a lot of stress and pain in the ass sort of stuff. So great job. Be interesting to see how it does play out and if that's able to then spread. They've got next year's election, so I'm assuming they're going to be trying to push for it to get through for that one, so it'll happen. So it'll be very interesting to watch that one. Watch this space. Windows 7. I think we mentioned it the other week. Its final dying term was on the 14th of January. Well, it's obviously dead, but Windows and Microsoft have come to the aid of people that had dramas with the home screen. They were putting up pictures, and obviously it was just a normal size picture for their home screen, but it had to be stretched to fill, and what it would do when it went to stretch, it would error out and cause just a black screen. Obviously that's no good. Normally after once they close down the software helpline period, I guess, which it did on the 14th, they normally charge people for it to get the stuff repaired. Microsoft have done the right thing here, come out and said, look, we're going to put a 3 patch in to get this thing. That's definitely not right. We don't think people should have to pay. It's going to cover a lot of users, so we'll do the righty here and we'll get this sorted. So that's out. So if you for some reason still running Windows 7, you can get that patch and download it to fix it, and B, it's time to upgrade. Definitely time to upgrade. That's got to be at least 3 to 4 years overdue, if not 5 years overdue. Yeah. Windows 10, I actually have to use that for work. I think it was about 2-3 years ago we had to swap over. When I first went into the breakdowns, we had to swap over the 10, and it was a little bit, and it was a bit patchy, but it's actually a lot better. The only one I have dramas with now, and this one I use all the time, is Excel. Trying to use multiple Excel files just doesn't work, and I've got the latest, greatest, biggest bloody Intel Xeon monster processor friggin' computer, and it still struggles with Excel. It always crashes on Excel, but everything else works fine. I haven't had dramas in that, but it's Excel seems to be the biggest problem on that platform. But yeah, Windows 7, time to move on. Yes, but there's a patch there for you for your home screen. Right, Boeing. We know Boeing's having its dramas with its planes, the crashing and the smashing and the and all that stuff, the bad stuff, not very good. We talked, I think, the other week about they're still having software issues now, won't let the plane take off. They're still trying to sort that out. Well, today or yesterday they've come out and they've announced their new plane. So this one's obviously should have been flying and going. It's dramas. Well, they're just still moving on. They're not messing around. They've got a program. They're sticking to it. The 777X plane, the world's largest twin-engine plane, and it's a bit of a monster. It's been announced. It's going to be on sale next year, 2020. They'll be coming into the program. Now, it's pretty amazing. We all know about sort of like you get your wings and you got the normal planes, and then you get the wing tips once they get sort of big, like on your Dreamliners and stuff. They got those big wings there, help with their airflow, and they get all that turbulence that comes off the wing, that spiraling turbulence. Well, this one now starts here and then the tips fold up, so you've got this huge sort of big section as a tip once it's in the air. So it's pretty amazing to watch. I'll try and get a picture of the tips folded up to put in the thumbnail for you, but definitely got something to go Google and check out. Very, very cool. I'm sure all the issues they've had with the previous plane, they've already attacked that in here to make sure that's all covered. So I don't think we'll see too many dramas with this one. I don't think they can afford it, actually, myself. Now also Vermont in the United States has looking at emojis for license plates. Correct. What, KT? Yes, emojis. So no longer can you have KT34, which actually was my old Ash34 I used to have, and then I think I had KT34 as well there for a while back in the territory, which was good because it was cheaper and it was easy. You never forget that. It's harder to remember 6 numbers and letters than it is a custom number plate. I've never known why they haven't pushed for everyone to have a custom number plate. It'd be easier for police, for people. If someone bank robs, you can see, oh, Jono 55 just stole that bank money. But yeah, anyway. Well, Vermont is looking, they want to add emojis, so you can not only have KT, and then you can put a smiley face, spewing. I'm sure they're going to have restrictions of what you can. I don't think there's going to be too many eggplants allowed. I can imagine, but yeah, pretty cool, something different. Again, great to see some sort of states adapting to new technology, new ways of doing things, and pretty darn cool. It'd be pretty funny to see what people come up with. Letter emoji. You can imagine all the different things that are going to pop up with it. So very, very cool. And last but not least, pretty cool one. Casey Neistat, if you haven't heard of him, you haven't been watching YouTube for long. He's a bit of a legend in this game. Come out with a bit of a thumbnail was cyberbike. You could obviously see it wasn't a motorbike or anything like that. It was a bit smaller, and it was basically he'd done a ad or done some work with Super 73 motorbike or they call them motorbikes, but it's actually just electric bikes. So those little electric scooter bikes, not the scooters, because the scooters are illegal, as we all know, but the bikes for some reason are okay in this country. That's another whole kettle of fish, and I'm still trying to work that out in my head. But the Super 73 do like a little motocross, so they have that old school sort of a long seat, so like we had when we were kids in the 70s, the long seat with the chopper bars and stuff like that. They've got the big fat tyres on there. It comes out, they're 20-inch diameter tyres, so a little bit smaller than what the PK Ripper runs. So it's 20s, but they're 5-inch fatty tyres, so huge. It's got 4-piston caliper disc brake system, which is pretty amazing. Fully alloy frame, 2,000 watt motor, so heaps of grunt in it. Very, very cool. It'll do, it's got a 960 watt hour battery. It'll do 40 miles at 20 miles an hour. So 20 miles an hour, full steam, it'll get you 40 miles an hour range. Obviously, you still got the pedals on there as well. So even worst case scenario, you run out, you can just ride it home, or whatever left you've got to get to. It'll do the same 75 miles an hour with the eco pedal mode. So that's, I guess, pedaling downhill or on the flat, and then using the electric batteries to get you up the hills and stuff like that. So I'm assuming it's something along those lines. 600 lumen headlight on there, so it's got a really good headlight, brake lights, all that sort of stuff. It's a 32-inch seat height. I'm trying to think. So just think a normal basic baseball bat height. So that's where your seat bum would sit off the ground. So 32 inches. Don't know if you can see me. So it's probably going to be around about just below waist height for a 6-footer. So that's not too bad. It does take a bit of weight. Adjustable handlebars too to suit you, which is, of course, it'll take 325 pounds, which converted over is just under 150, about 147 kilos. So that's really good for us big bikes. And 5'3" to 6'8". So yeah, very, very cool. XE, yes. Obviously fully adjustable suspension. It's got little gash struts in there on just like, it's the ducks. Went straight to the top of the range. No use messing around with the base versions. But you look at the top of the range, it's $3,000 US, but very, very cool. If you're looking for something like that, just something to get you around, obviously Australia, we can't do the scooters. It's illegal. You can still buy them, and you've just got that risk factor involved, but you can get an electric bike and do whatever you want, and no one can say nothing. Yeah, it's very weird. But anyway, very cool. Go check him out, Super 73. Now, he basically took that bike and put an aluminium frame. Him and Super 73 guys worked together to make the cyber bike. Rode it around LA. It wasn't the best setup, but it looked pretty funky on a bike with that angular aluminium shape with it looked everything. Go check it out. Very, very cool. Did a great job. At first glance, when you look at the thumbnail, you go, oh, geez, a cyberbike. Oh, maybe Tesla's released something, and he's the first one, which is always possible. So I was, I guess, a little bit clickbaity, but it's actually pretty cool to see what he could do and how he could do it, and the reactions of all the people that were checking it out. Went down the beach, had a heap of people looking at it, and pretty much everyone they seen loved it. A heap of people on electric bikes come and seen it, and they're going, oh, that's cool. So it was really done really well. I think it was a Pretty cool video. As always, he does a great job, so it's pretty hard to beat. And that's about it. Yeah, well, I hope you like my sort of semi-studio. I'll try and, it's a bit tricky because when I put the car in, maybe I can move the car over to that side. I need to work this out because I like the way this sits. It's a little bit more comfortable, a bit of a lean-in action, you know? And I'm sweating like a, yeah, it's hot, very hot. Anyways, that's it from me. Another day, another vlog, number 193. We're 7 away from 200 episodes. That's pretty darn cool. Yeah, happy to have you with us. If you're still here and listening, why not subscribe? Every day, Monday to Fridays now, as I said last night's one, Monday to Fridays we'll be doing another day, another vlog. Weekends we'll have off, but we'll still have our other videos to slide in there as well. I've got to get this Box of Bearings one up and running. I want to get that finished and done and checked out by them so I can get it out to use and so you can suss it all out and see this beautiful bike in action. Your little PK Ripper. You ripper. Righty guys, whether you're heading that way, or going to bed, have a great night. Hope your Tuesday went well. It's hump day tomorrow, and I'll see you all here again for it. See ya. Peace.